There's a lot of news going on throughout each week, and it can be kind of hard keeping up on what's going on in the tech world, and more specifically, what's going on with Apple. So let me take care of that for you in this video with these top stories of the week. Before we get started, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell to get notifications whenever we share a video. The coronavirus and its impact on Apple was reported earlier this week as being relatively minor, but we're still seeing some negative impacts from this deadly virus. Apple's main iPhone assembler, Foxconn, has told employees not to return to work at its Shenzhen facility in China when the extended Lunar New Year break ends on February 10th. Foxconn has reportedly halted almost all of its production in China as the government and businesses attempt to contain the coronavirus outbreak in the country, where more than 31,000 cases have been reported so far. Foxconn had previously projected a revenue increase of 3 to 5%, but now is tempering expectations and projecting only 1 to 3%. Now, the iPhone and Foxconn are not the only products and facilities to be impacted by the virus either. Apple's major AirPod suppliers Luxshare, ICT, GoerTech, and Inventec have been shut down since the beginning of the Lunar New Year, and even when work on AirPods resumed this Monday, components could be in short supply because factories all across China have been shutting down due to virus fears. The AirPods manufacturers have at most 2 weeks worth of materials and components needed for AirPods assembly. And for fresh supplies, they'll need to wait for component makers in China to restart its operations. It's unclear how things will go once these companies resume operations on Monday, but it will be interesting to see if this virus will have any long-term impact on potential upcoming Apple products for 2020. Speaking of potential new products, Apple has been granted a new patent for this week for a foldable device. This foldable device seems to be unlike those that we've already seen hit the market, like Samsung's Galaxy Fold and the Huawei Mate X, as Apple's foldable could feature a unique hinge mechanism that utilizes movable flaps to help prevent the display from being creased or damaged when you fold it. The new Motorola Razr avoids creasing issues, but it does have a couple of other problems of its own, like a creaking sound whenever you open and close the device. Now, it's not stated or 100% clear if this is going to be a foldable iPhone or a foldable iPad, but if you take a look at the patent and its drawing, it does appear to be an iPad, at least in my opinion. In just a few short days, we might be close to seeing the release of another new foldable device from Samsung, and a leaked video shows off a more vertical approach. Much like the Motorola Razr, judging by the video, it does appear to have the same hinge mechanism as the Galaxy Fold, and a crease does appear to be visible, but all in all, I'm pretty excited that these devices are becoming more of a reality than something I used to dream about back in the day, but I would still love to know your thoughts on the current status of foldables. Go ahead and let me know in the comments down below. Our last major story of the week is that Apple and its popular smartwatch, the Apple Watch, is doing so well these days that it sold more than the entire Swiss watch industry in 2019 by a pretty wide margin. Apple shipped an estimated 30.7 million units worldwide in 2019, as opposed to the Swiss watch industry, which includes all Swiss brands, which shipped a total of 21.1 million units. Now, keep in mind these are estimates, but judging by the wide margin, I think it's safe to assume that Apple has indeed sold more watches than the Swiss market, which is pretty impressive. Before we wrap up this video, I do want to mention a couple of quick little stories that happened throughout the week as well. Like, Apple released beta 1 of iOS and iPadOS 13.4 to developers this week, and in it we found a few new features like keyboard commands for Photos app on iPadOS, 9 new Memoji stickers, Apple Mail improvements, and an API key for a new feature potentially called Car Key that can potentially allow iPhone users to unlock, lock, and start their vehicles with their iPhones. We made a full video about that beta, and you can click on it up here in the card in the top right corner if you want to check it out. Lastly, in Apple TV Plus news, Apple released the complete season of Mythic Quest today, which features 9 half-hour episodes from Always Sunny creators Rob McElhenney and Charlie Day, and it follows a game development company on the precipice of releasing its latest game, Mythic Quest Raven's Banquet. Now, I've only seen the first episode so far, but I love these creators and I'm already 100% in on this show. I think it's pretty funny and I can't wait to finish the rest of the season. So that's it. That wraps up our top stories for the week. I would love to know your thoughts and opinions on these stories or other stories that we might have missed in those comment sections down below. This has been Dan with MacRumors. Thanks so much for watching and I hope to see you around in the next video.